What's up, guys? So today in this video, I'm going to share with you is Bruce Lee's fighting method. Now, this fighting method of his is performed by Richard Bastillo and Ted Wong. Richard on the left, Ted Wong on the right. And these two are Bruce Lee's students. Richard is more of a concept guy who trains with Dan Inosanto right after Bruce passed away. Now, Ted Wong is a student that was started at the school in LA, but then eventually Bruce Lee picked him up and took him to train in Bruce Lee's backyard. So Ted is actually Bruce's student, one of the backyard students, and Ted eventually became Bruce Lee's very, very close friend, if not a best friend of Bruce Lee's. So in this little video, it's like an hour or something long, but I actually cut some stuff out that weren't really necessary, like the warm-ups and some of the punches that they weren't just punches, but they were other stuff that was incorporated in there too. So I kind of shortened it up so that we can kind of talk about it. And it's still pretty long. It's like 30 something minutes, but some things I want to show and some things I want to point out. And these are some of the fighting methods. Okay, we're gonna kind of review and talk about them also. So
other leg flexibility exercises.
This warm up right here, Ted is doing a stretch, a certain kind of stretch that Bruce Lee would normally do. So he would use this pulley system to pull his leg up for a side kick or a front kick to kind of help him stretch so that he can actually get his leg up further. And this is how Bruce Lee got his famous side kick, was doing this stretch right here.
It is important to position your arms, feet, and head.
Now in this part of the whole series here, Ted is actually showing you guys the stance. So this is the JKD stance.
The right shoulder raised an inch or two, and the chin dropped about the same distance.
And this is the perfect way of standing for JKD fighters, or for an actual JKD person. So this is the front view, of course.
The muscles and bone structure are in the best possible alignment, protecting the point of the chin. In close
and you see how he has the heel in the back there, and then that line in the middle? That's how you're supposed to stand for a JKD.
Only in rare extreme defensive maneuvers should the point of the chin be tucked into the lead shoulder.
Ted's very slim. I remember meeting Ted. He was very, very thin, about like my height, but he had no fat on him whatsoever. And now you can see here, this is Richard standing in like a bear stance. He's standing in the wrong way, where he's showing his center line, and Ted is actually hiding more of his center line behind that front leg.
Good form is essential in your
so now Ted is moving around in the stance, and he's showing you certain things you can and can't do.
The most important aspect of the on-guard stance. Without proper balance at all times, you will lose body control in the middle of an
Now,
action.
Bruce Lee's stance was made more for the front hand, and as he moved back, when he dropped that hand down, that was going to become a back fist when he came forward. So that's why that hand would go down when he moved back. It was kind of like baiting you to move in some more so he could back fist you in the face, or he'll come around and hook you in the face. So these are some of the things that you can actually do from this stance. And Ted is the perfect example of a real JKD practitioner, or if you're going to use it in combative form. So this is, now you got to remember too, Ted is Bruce Lee's backyard student. So this is the stuff that Bruce taught Ted.
Remember, if you tense up, you lose your balance, timing, and flexibility, which are essential to all proficient fighters. To advance, do not cross or hop, but shuffle your feet. At the outset, you will feel
Okay, so now these are the footwork.
Practicing this movement daily, you will develop
So the JKD stance, the footwork,
do the forward shuffle, stand in the on guard position, and move forward cautiously. Slide your
and they explain it very well in this video.
widening the space between your feet just for a second as you slide your rear foot
Step,
forward.
and then you bring that back
When the rear
feet
foot is
forward,
moving forward,
just
you
like
should be
that.
at
This
the
is
original
one of the
position. Then
footwork
you
that I was
further
taught when I
forward,
started
repeat
training in
the process.
JKD, stepping forward and then bring that back feet forward. But you still leave that little gap in the middle so that you can actually move. You're not off balance, because if your feet are both together,
In retreating
then
or
that would
moving
actually
backwards,
restrict you from
you
moving
just reverse
left and
the
right, and you're
The
off
basis
balance.
behind the backward shuffle is like the advance.
Now this was another
On
move
guard
that,
position,
another footwork
slide
that I
your rear
learned,
foot backward
and
about a half a step,
this is
widening the
moving
space
back.
between your
You're
feet
doing the
just
exact
for
same
a
thing.
split
You're moving
second
that back leg
as you
first,
slide
and then
your
you're bringing
foot
that front
backward.
feet back,
Front foot is in place. You should be in the on guard position and perfectly balanced.
just like this.
Unlike the advance shuffle, your weight would shift slightly for just an instant to your rear foot.
And Ted
when
is
you slide
very,
your
very
front
light
foot
on his
backward.
feet. If you
To
ever
retreat
see
further,
him move in
continue to
person,
repeat the process.
he is phenomenal. His footwork is so nice.
From
Quick
the
advance.
on-guard position, with your
I actually
front
call
foot
this a
tipped
lunge
forward
step,
a few inches.
because your back
As soon as
feet
you
is
slide
actually
your
moving
front
in.
Quickly slide your back foot almost to
See how
replace your
that back
front
feet
foot
is
position.
moving in all the way
Unless you
towards the
move your
front feet?
foot instantly, the rear
So
foot
you're
cannot
actually
be
pushing off
slided
that back
properly
feet.
because the front foot will be in its way.
You could actually move that feet forward first,
But the purpose of this movement is to move your body quickly
Just like
to a
that.
distance 8 feet or more that requires
but I think the
several
next move, the next footwork is going to be the one where you're going to move that feet forward first.
The footwork for the quick retreat or rapid backward movement is almost similar
Same
to the
thing.
quick advance, except you move in the opposite direction. Unlike the quick advance, you do not have to slide your foot a few inches. It is just one quick motion, but your body should be in alignment and in balance. The
Ted
front
does this
foot,
really, really
like the
well
quick
if you see
advance,
him in person.
initiates the movement with the rear foot following just a split second later.
And it's just so light on his feet. Now this is the one I was talking about, the burst. You actually bring in that back feet first, and then you move the
Forward
front feet,
burst is the
So,
quickest JKD
here,
movement.
just like
It is
that,
utilized to penetrate deeply to attack with a kick or to counter an attack.
just like a
Like the
pendulum.
quick
Yep.
advance movement, it is a deep lunge from the on-guard position. By using a sweeping motion with the lead hand, momentum is created, propelling you forward. Sidestepping is used to avoid straightforward assaults and to produce openings for a counter-strike when the opponent least expects
Yep, I remember doing this too in practice. So you're stepping to the side. If you're stepping to the left, your left feet moves first. If you step to the right, your right feet moves first. So it won't complicate you, and your feet won't cross. That way, your feet are still in the same distance, and also they're not crossing. If ever you fight like a wrestler who's trying to take you down, feet crossing is probably the worst, because when your feet crosses, you're off balance, you're vulnerable, and you can't move back and forth. You can't really move at all if your feet are crossed. So left foot, right foot first. Very, very simple.
Using a long staff, have an opponent aim and
Now
thrust it
this
In order
was
to
a good
avoid the
way
edge
of
the
practicing
staff, you'll be forced to either
slipping
sidestep to
and
the right or
dodging.
left.
The reason
Try to
why
get
is
used to the
because
feeling
it's a
of moving
pull.
side to side
It's
while
not something
maintaining your
big that's
balance.
coming at you. It's actually something
Slightly
very
leaning the
small. So
body
your
while
eyes
sidestepping
get
can
used to
contribute to
seeing
avoiding a
this
blow.
small object coming at you, just like a punch.
From an outside
And
position
here,
of your fingers and thumb,
Ted is
fold
showing
your
you
fingertips into your
how to
Then
hold
overlap your thumb tightly
your
over
punches.
clenched fingers. The tip of the thumb
So this
extends
is
to the
how
center of
you
your middle
actually make a fist when you're throwing a punch.
One of the best ways to learn to
And
punch
Richard
is to use
is
your
now
hips.
going to show you the
To do
best
this,
way
tie a
of
string to a piece
throwing
of paper and hang it
power
from the ceiling
punches.
to about chest height.
A lot of people think that you have to use a heavy bag for power. Actually, it's really not. It's actually a piece of paper. This is how Bruce Lee practices power. Because what he would do was he would punch at the paper and try to make the paper move. And by doing so, you're adding snap into the punches and making the paper move. So when you're about to hit it, you snap at the last minute to make the paper move, so the extra power is there when you throw that punch. Now, once you get better at this, you can actually do it to a candle. If you light up a candle, you set it there, and you try to punch it, try to just knock it out with air. So punch as hard as you can, snap at the end, and try to push the air into that candle and knock it out. I mean, I've seen some grandmasters that have done it, and they knocked out not just one candle, but they knocked out a whole bunch of candles. You know, if you see like Conor McGregor, if you ever see him doing it, he knocks out candles, and he actually uses his feet to put out candles too. It's not really easy. It's actually pretty hard, because you're actually generating as much power as you can in the punches to try to knock out that candle. So very, very neat way of actually learning how to actually throw power into your punches. And that's what Bruce Lee used to do. Now here, this is where Richard Bastillo is hitting the heavy bag. And you see how he's twerking? Or his hips are twerking and they're turning, and the power is just coming straight from the hips. It's coming straight from the hips, and I don't know if he's actually snapping with the punches, but that's the way of throwing an actual punch, because you don't want to really wind up for a punch to throw for power. You just have your hands in front, and now the power just comes from the hips, the torque, your feet, your forearm, your lats, and that's where the power comes from when you throw in those punches. And that's what he's working on right here, is where he's turning, punching that with power, and he's just keeping everything very, very close and tight. So he doesn't have to wind up for a punch, or he doesn't have to totally turn for a really hard punch or anything. And so here they're hitting mitts, and Ted is just doing very simple, basic punches. Just jab, cross, hooks, uppercuts. That's about it. He's not doing any spinning back fists, or you're not seeing any kind of other fancy punches. It's just straight punches, jab, cross, and if there's a hook, he throws a bent arm punch, you know, but he's still extending it out. Jab crosses, see, just like what I said, jab crosses. Ted's just practicing the simple jab crosses or cross jabs. And that's basically what JKD is just pretty much using as little tools as you can. You don't have to use all the tools that you have, because it doesn't need all the tools to take someone out. Sometimes it just only takes a jab cross, and that's it. So here's a side kick, okay? Now, you see how Ted is perfectly straight with the side kick?
To execute a powerful side kick, stand with your feet apart and parallel to each other.
Comes in, that foot replaces that foot, and that foot goes out, just like that, brings it back in, and sets it out. That's a perfect side kick. See how he turns his hip like that? With that extra torque, you're going to actually get that hip to hit further, and your body is going to be like a pole. It's going to act like a pole when you hit them. So they're going to actually fly back like that. So here he does it again. Boom. Now, I've never actually felt Ted Wong's side kick, but that guy is flying back pretty far. So I'm assuming he can kick pretty hard. Nice. Very nice. Now to the heavy bag. Now, if you ever watch Bruce Lee's sidekick, he does it. There's like two ways of him doing a sidekick, and I covered that one in Bruce Lee's sidekick, where Bruce Lee would kick it straight like how Ted's doing right now, or if you were like a bigger, taller person, Bruce Lee would actually send you up into the air. So he'll do it like at an angle where he's actually kicking upwards. And that's what knocks people off balance, is because when he kicks at an angle, he knocks you up, and you're trying to catch yourself when you're falling back down, but you're off balance already, and so that's why they they start pedaling backwards. So that was Bruce Lee's way of kicking, was either straight forward or slanted, going at an upward angle. Now this is the front kick. This is the second kick that Ted Wong shows. And it's just a simple front kick using the pendulum step. So foot replaces the front foot and then kicking upwards. Now that is like you're kicking them in the balls. So you're just like kicking them between the legs. And then there's the thrust, the front. This is also a front kick, but more like a thrust kick. So it's a forward thrust kick or a front thrust kick. But we just call it a front kick. Just keep it simple. There's different varieties of the kick. So front thrust, inverted kick. Now this one is to the side. Okay, these were useful, but they're very tricky because you're at a bad angle when you're done. So if you miss the guy's very easily to trip you, or he's actually very easily to return fire, and you're in a bad position because you're on the side. So these I rarely ever use. In the cage, in practice, yep, never. I don't think I've ever used these. The
inverted kick can be targeted to the legs, the groin, and the head of your opponent.
So Ted's showing you all the variations of the front kick. And then the hook kick, the third kick. Now this was, they would call it the front roundhouse, but it would just be JKD guys would call it a hook kick, where the front leg would actually come around, and it was called the hook kick because that front leg can actually hook behind the opponent's leg and pull it backwards. So you'll be pulling it back, and then they would be losing balance. So it was kind of like a tricky kick, where it was also a front round kick to a hook kick. You could also hook the leg. And that's why it was called a hook kick, because you could do many things with that kick right here. So coming from the side, looping around, hooking, kicking to the head, the stomach, the neck. So that was the hook kick for the JKD guys who trained with Ted. Now the speed training, this way of training speed, we did something similar to this, but this way was actually a lot safer. The way we did it was more bad for your elbow. So I would do this, and this was something that I thought was really neat.
It is a test as to whether you can hit the target before he can clap your hand. If he can't, then let him reduce the distance between his hands to about 6 inches.
So that is a really neat drill, actually. Trying to get that with speed drill training. That was really fun.
As the assailant attacks,
now, we're going to do some self-defense, and we're going to actually critique and talk about some of these, see if they work and what I think about them. Now, if you see here, Ted comes out, he just kicks to the knee and then punches him in the face. That is so typical of JKD practitioners and fighters, because you're getting directly to the point. So you're kicking him in the knee and you punch him in the face instead of trying to trap some hands or do anything. You're just kicking them and then finishing it off with a blow.
With no warning,
so here,
rushes towards you and attempts
I don't know why somebody would come and side kick you, but you know, if it does ever happen, which it does, side kick to the leg and you would throw them down like this. Which, this is something I would never use. I think it's just kind of funny how someone would come and side kick you, but this was in the books that Bruce Lee wrote, in his fighting method, one of the ways of attack. I'm guessing this is already two people about to fight. That's why the guy has his hands up and he's down like that. So here, Ted steps back and just kicks him right in the back, and then pulls his shirt, finishes him off with like a
Finish off with a
stomp to the face or a kick to the face.
Once the
Just
assailant is down on the
bam.
ground,
Very cruel,
sure he doesn't
but I like
panic,
it because
so always
that if you
follow
kick
through
someone in the
with other
face when they're
techniques.
down, that more likely might finish the fight. Might even kill him. He comes. Oh, that was just funny how he came in like that. Now here, the person's winding up for the punch and closest weapon, closest target. Side kick. Side kick. His leg was closest to the target, so he used his leg to kick the guy. And that's one thing that you're probably going to hear a lot in JKD, is when they say closest target, closest weapon to closest target.
Carry the block to the side of your head and immediately follow with a finger jab to the eye.
It's always going to be the closest hand or the closest leg to the target. Now in this situation right here, he uses his rear hand, and that is because his rear hand was more in front.
Like the full swing attack, you have more time to counter against
Now here,
trying to tackle you.
He's actually in his other stance, so he used his leg as the closest weapon to the closest target, which was the guy's face, was a target, and he kicked him in the face. Now, don't think that the face is the only target or the body is the only target, too. You can also hit the hands and the feet, too. Those are targets also. Here, Richard's got a guillotine.
Grab the assailant's neck in a headlock.
Sprawn backwards.
Slide your front foot backward and pin the assailant to the ground while maintaining a chokehold. Be sure to
I don't know
execute the
what
pin
this
quickly,
is, but
or the attacker could make a strike to your groin.
Yeah, I don't know about this one, but if it was me, I would definitely drop on his head, and not on my elbow though, but drop on his head.
And attempts to knee your groin. Grab the
Let's
assailant's
see.
left arm and simultaneously execute
Okay,
a right bound
okay.
fist strike to his groin. Then thrust your left
1,
hand to his
2,
throat.
3. Ooh, and
While
the
shoving
trip.
his throat back,
Oh, that was a
grab
real
his
trip
sleeve with
too.
your other hand,
Well,
pulling the assailant clockwise and down.
This for me,
Finish
it
him off with a
kind of a little bit too much because he grabs your shirt and then Richard, I think, does like a trapping and hits him in the balls, chokes him, and sweeps him. A little bit too much when you could just kick him in the balls and then gouge him in the eyes. Now he's pulling. Richard kicks the thigh and then punches him in the face. Okay, I like the punch, right? Because he's in position for it, which I would like. I agree with this one. I don't mind with this one. The only thing is that you could have just punched him in the face in the first place instead of the kick to the thigh, because now you're off balance. And then the stomp to the head is always a good one. Boom, boom. Sweep and then stomp to the head. Yeah.
An assailant grabs
No,
your
side
arm with
kick.
both of his hands.
Okay.
Lean back and quickly deliver a low
To the
side
knee.
kick
I'm
to the
assuming
back of
that's
knee.
the kneecap that they're trying to kick. Yeah. Yeah, okay. And then punch the face.
An assailant
I'm
grabs your
assuming that
right arm.
was
Before
meant
the
to be
attacker
there.
can throw his punch,
Now
pull your
here
right
is a
arm back,
cross.
twist your hips, and deliver
Someone
a
grabs
left
your hand
cross
cross.
without
I like
hesitation.
that because I've done that before. A guy grabbed my hand
Attacking
in the
you from
cage,
behind, the
and
assailant
I sent
locks
my
your
other
right
hand at him,
arm
and he
and
ducked
keeps your
right out of
head
the
in a
way.
grip.
It was funny.
Using the attacking
But
moment, turn your body
here we
toward your
got
locked arm, counterclock,
oh, right through the balls.
forcing the assailant's
Yeah,
left
I
arm.
actually seen that one in the
While
cage
keeping the
before,
assailant's arm
but it wasn't to the
locked under your
balls, actually
body,
to the face.
execute a reverse
Because the guy,
elbow
he
strike
actually
to his groin,
had him in
head, butt, and
a
knee to the
crucifix, and the guy elbowed him right in the face instead of the balls. But he's in that position, so that'll be fine. Coming from behind, grabbing the hand,
wrist lock on your right hand.
turning around,
Immediately
and doing a
retaliate
side
with a side kick to his midsection,
bam.
and a spinning back kick to the same section of his body with your
And
other
then
foot.
you're doing another
Someone
side
grabs you
kick.
with a reverse lock.
Or actually, no, a
You
turning
have
back
to counter
kick.
instantly before he can pin you to the ground.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to do because he's so close. So you won't be able to get much distance to build up that power.
An assailant grabs your chest.
So I
with
would
both
say,
hands.
nah.
Lock the attacker's arm.
This one, okay, I can see why he did that. But I think if he lift up the knees and knee him in the balls and then punch him in the face would have been fine. It would have worked too. Because they were the same, well, almost the same height.
Forward elbow strike to the
you know,
attacker's face.
It still would have worked.
In this section is to trap the assailant's right hand,
elbow him right in the face,
damage
grabbing those hands so he doesn't move. Yeah, that would work.
An attacker sneaks up behind you and grabs your shirt.
Now we got
turn your torso
back
and
fist to the face.
To the attacker's face.
Yes, that definitely will work. Especially, ooh, yeah, when he put in real time, yeah, it looked good.
You with a back arm lock that is difficult
now someone's got you from back there,
the
and you do a turning back kick.
Back kick to his groin.
Yeah, to the balls. Okay, yeah, I could agree with that one.
The assailant grabs your chest,
grabbing your shirt, and you just punch him in the face. Sure,
grab the assailant's
I like that.
Left hand, and at the same
directly
time,
to the point, and then go for a leg sweep.
Follow up with a trip and takedown.
Throw him to the ground.
To his face. Instead of a punch to the assailant's jaw.
Yep, no problem with that one.
Use an effective finger jab.
And dropping your knee on his face. Yep, he'll like that. Boom, boom. Defense against chokeholds and hugs. Okay. Now chokes.
An assailant attempts to choke you.
Boom, there you go. See?
And deliver a front kick to his groin.
If that's there, take it. I don't know why people don't do that more often. I don't know. Honestly, I'm like dumbfounded why they don't do that. I understand the guy was taller than you and they lift you up and you couldn't do it, but most times they just don't do it.
An attacker has a strong
now let's see this one.
Quickly deliver a finger jab to his eyes with your free hand.
That's kind of hard to do because your head is already stuck there, so getting that hand all the way up there is difficult. I would have just used that closer hand, the one that's right around his back, to come on top of his arm and grab his hair or grab his nose like that. But I wouldn't come on that side. I would actually go on the other side and push him away. But that works too if that works for you. Me, I kind of have shorter arms, and guys tend to be taller than me, so. And Richard Bastillo, I've actually met him twice. He is actually a pretty tall guy. He's like 5'10", 5'11". Yeah, I'm like 5'7", so he's actually taller than me. Very nice guy. I remember him. He didn't have this much hair, that's for sure.
An assailant sneaks up behind you and strangles you with his left arm, grabbing your right hand.
Elbow to the stomach, and stomp on the foot. All right.
Position,
yeah.
Move quickly to your right and apply an elbow
in your stance. I think that one will work. This one, yeah, bam, bam. Yep. Now it depends who you're elbowing to, because okay, now this one I would definitely agree with, and that. For like if it was a child, those were the sensitive spot. So you're still going to affect them if they were bigger than you. But the one before this one, kind of question about that one.
The assailant has a bear hug around you.
Turning elbow to the face.
Instead of attempting to free yourself from the grip.
Now you're going for a wrist lock. Or actually no way.
Continue with an arm
standing Kimura. Or a key lock. Yeah, I was taught this one in MMA. And it's very difficult to get, honestly. Because you really have to fight for it. But if you get it, you got it. Standing bear hug. Oh, okay. So you actually grip their pants so that they can't lift you any higher. Ah, I just learned something new. That's actually neat. And then do a flying knee to the balls. Okay.
Swing back your head to bang it against the assailant's face. Another option is to execute a blow to his groin with either of your free hands.
Pat him in the balls and then they'll let go. Okay.
In this situation, because the attacker can't do anything to you.
I could believe
as long as he keeps hugging you.
That's a sensitive spot, so I could believe that will probably work.
The assailant has a frontal headlock on
now, if they got you in a headlock,
before
what
he
do you
can drop
do?
you to the ground, take aim and throw
right to the balls. Yep. That's what I would do.
Close quarters fighting,
I would actually carry through with that. I would just like lift them up too. If they were my size, if they were bigger, it's going to be difficult to lift them up. Okay, so they got
assailant swings a club at you, stepping back just enough to let the club miss you. Quickly
side
retaliate
kick
with a side
after he
kick to
misses
the body.
with the knife. Yeah, so you got to wait until he actually swings that knife and then side kick him. That is very, very hard to do, honestly. You got to have perfect timing for that, and you got to be fast too.
As
You
the
duck
attacker
under.
swings his club at you, duck under the blow and block his
Okay,
arm to prevent
so
another swing.
block the arm.
Immediately counter with a knee
Come
to
up
his
with a
midsection.
knee to the gut. Ooh. Yeah, okay. Alright, so I can see if they're very slow. Yeah, I can see that happening. Of course, you got to finish them off
The
so you can
assailant
get back
attempts
up.
to jab you with his club. Block the
Oh
jab
yeah,
and
this one is
simultaneously
scary. I would
deliver a
not
strike
do
to
this
his head
one.
and throat.
If that was an actual
Then
knife
maintain an arm lock
and he did
disarm
that, yeah,
the
I
opponent.
wouldn't. I would stay away from this one. Yeah. Okay, so here.
As the attacker attempts a swing at you, move
So you move
swiftly
in
towards him,
before he actually
jamming
swings.
his arm
So
with your
you
front
actually
hand and deliver a
block that
body.
arm so he doesn't swing that
Whip him to
bat,
the ground,
and then come
follow
in,
up with a kick.
shovel hook him in the stomach, and then kick his front leg and stomp on his head. Okay, very scary.
If you're at a farther distance, duck
This was a little
underneath
more
the
scary.
step. As it passes over your head, quickly counter with a hook kick to the
Kick
stomach.
him
and a
in the
front kick to
stomach.
the head.
And then stomp him his face when it's in the air. Okay. I agree with the last one, but yeah, this one's scary. Oh. Especially when they swing like that. You know.
When the assailant thrusts his staff at
No,
you,
that's if
sidestep the thrust
they're
and
trying to
seize
poke
the
you
staff.
with this pole.
Follow up
Then
with a
you
side
kick
kick
him
to his
like that.
chest while still holding on to the staff
Okay.
and a roundhouse kick
Most
to
time
the
guys
head.
don't do that. They don't use a stick to try to poke you in the stomach. So that's actually very rare. They usually use it for like a
When
bat
the assailant
style
thrusts
where
his
they're trying to
staff at
bat
your
your head off,
midsection, again,
or
sidestep
they're
the thrust,
trying
seize the
to
staff, and quickly execute a
swing
front
at
kick to
you
his
at
hand.
like a
Once the weapon
12
is released,
o'clock to
launch
6
a side
o'clock.
kick into his midsection.
But this, it might happen. It might. I don't know. Yeah. Okay,
The
so we got a
attacker
knife
faces
here.
you with a knife. Before he attacks,
So you
take
gotta-
a finger jab toward his face, which will cause him to react. Swiftly
Okay, so
execute a
you're going to
low
distract
side
him
kick
with
to his
that
knee.
front hand.
Follow up with a
So he
kick to
brings
the
that
head.
knife up and then kick him to the leg. All right, and then now foot stomp to the head. Okay. Okay, I can see the distraction, you know, like fake a really like that. I can see that happening. All right. You got like that one was
As the
planned. You
attacker
have to
swings
plan
the
that
knife
one
at
out.
you, quickly evade
Now
the
this
assault
one
by
is
stepping
timing.
back.
All
Burst
right, so you
forward
gotta
with a low
go
side
after
kick.
he tries to slash you, and you gotta go fast too, else he's gonna come back and try to slash
An
you.
assailant points
Now
a
this
gun
guy's got a
against your
gun.
back. Quickly turn your body
All right.
counterclockwise, using your arm
To
to
the
parry
throat.
his hand so you'll be away from the line of fire.
And
Attack his neck
here,
and maintain a hold on his wrist
bring
and
that
follow
knee
up
up
with blows
to
to
the
the
face.
face while disarming the weapon.
yeah, man, I don't know. See, the thing with this one, they could just bend that arm and the gun is still in their hand if you turn around, you know, like if they see you do that, they could just bend their arm really quick. So I would, I mean, yeah, I see Richard is so close to him too. That's why he couldn't bend his arm. But
Again,
I
move
honestly, I
away
don't know
from the
about that
line
one.
of fire
This
while
one-
attacking his throat and seizing his wrist to disarm the
Damn, this
attacker.
one is you got to be fast so that it doesn't fire at you, and I can see it happening, but I wouldn't. There's just so much moves. I would definitely just push him to the side and punch him
While
in the
sitting in a
face or
chair,
gouge him in the
you're
eyes so he
approached
can't
by
see
an
me.
assailant.
But
Without warning,
Man,
he
that one
rushes
is
you,
difficult,
and
but
you should immediately,
I can see that
without
happening.
hesitation, deliver
So
a
Ted's in the
thrust to
chair,
the groin without
and
letting up.
here Ted just closest weapon, closest target, foot to the face, stomach. That's it.
While sitting in a chair, you're surprised
Here
by
comes
an
another
assailant
one.
who grabs your shirt with both hands. Quickly counter with a right
And
punch to his groin.
to the balls. See what I mean? Like, JKD is more direct to the point. Ted gets directly to the point. And that the point is to finish him off, and that's the most sensitive spot for a man. Hit him on the balls.
While sitting in a chair, an assailant surprises
Now
you
someone
from
chokes
the
you from
rear
behind
by
while
applying
you're
a
sitting.
headlock. Immediately grab his hair with the arm closest to his head and
If he
deliver a
has
finger
hair.
jab to his
Okay,
eye.
this only works if he has hair. Right, so if he doesn't have hair, I don't know about this one. Now gouge him in the eyes. Okay. And yes, I can totally agree with this one if he has hair.
You are pinned by an assailant who has a
Now,
headlock
if he's got you in a headlock
and
on the
has your
ground,
right hand pinned. With
yes,
your free hand,
that-
go for his
that
eye,
definitely will
then
work.
Pin him with your legs and apply
yes,
a
you
wrist
can bring
lock.
that hand all the way around and do that. And then going into a key lock. Yeah, I would still push on that chin, because even though you get that leg over in his head, he'll still
You are lying
force it
flat on
back
your
in.
back with the attacker choking you.
Oh, someone
one of
choking
his
you on
wrists
top.
to relieve the choke pressure.
Yeah, this one is
and with your
difficult.
other hand, execute a finger jab.
So I've done
Follow up with
jujitsu,
counter blows to
and
his
there's
groin
different ways of
until
getting
he
out of
releases
this,
his
but
grip.
most of the time you want them to ride on your hips, not on your body, or more on your chest. So here you can still turn them and throw them over. But if they're riding high, it's different too. You gotta use a different way of attacking them. But that's pretty much it, you guys. These are some of the things that I wanted to share and talk to you about, and we kind of want to critique and just see if these moves work. But this was a while back, and this video is pretty old, as you guys can see. So I'm just gonna throw this out there, and hopefully you guys kind of like the stuff that I gave you guys and shared with you. There's going to be more to come too. If you guys have any questions or want to see something, you guys just feel free to ask me. I will try to get to it as soon as possible. And also, if you guys haven't already, subscribe, like, comment, and let me know what you guys think. All right? We'll see you guys in my next video. Take care and work hard. We'll see you then. Peace.